What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be packing 5 mini makeup reviews into this one video. 5 new things that I've been using recently and I'm ready to share my thoughts on. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I want to talk about the Beauty Say What Weightless Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. Mine is in the shade Honey Honey T1N, and at first I was a little nervous. It's a tad bit deeper than I normally buy my foundations. Normally I try and match the skin on my face, but I tend to be a little bit better about wearing SPF on my face, and so my face tends to be lighter than the rest of my body. This was actually a pretty good match in the way that it matches my chest and shoulders when I'm actually wearing them out. Wearing my shoulders out, because you always wear your shoulders. What? So anyway, I was intrigued by this because I'd heard good things about it, and also the combination of soft matte and hydrating seemed like an odd match, like contradictory, and I haven't really reached for a matte foundation in a long time. I've been on a real dewy kick, like really dewy kick, going in with a glowy primer and foundation, no setting powder, like really swinging to the glowy extreme, and so I wasn't quite sure that I wanted to go in the matte direction, but again, the hydrating kind of encouraged me that way, and I'm really glad I did. So yes, it does give you a soft matte finish. I have a bunch of other glowy products over top that I'll talk about that are giving like the tops of my cheekbones a highlight, but I think you'll be able to see that when I am just applying this foundation and nothing else over the top, it does give you a really beautiful soft matte finish without drying your skin out or looking like it's drying your skin out. It doesn't sink into fine lines in my under eye area or fine lines around my mouth. And it also has a surprisingly thin consistency. I was not at all expecting this to be as kind of thin and watery as it is. I think that makes it really layerable to the point where you can get additional coverage without that matte finish caking up in certain parts of your face. So I really like the coverage. You can get pretty full coverage out of this. I love the feel of it on my skin. It's like very lightweight, even if you do happen to layer it up. And I've had really good wear experience. Now, I've said this in the past couple videos, but it's still worth mentioning, I think, in case you haven't seen those. I haven't been doing a ton that would require long-lasting makeup. I'm sure many of us are in the same boat, so I will say I haven't been testing this foundation as rigorously as maybe I would have, months ago, pre-quarantine, but I have worn this for many hours on end, and I've been really pleased with the way it looked at the end of the day. So I would have to give this 5 stars. I would recommend looking into it if you have been looking for something that verges on a matte-ish kind of finish, but tend to have issues with matte finish foundations that cake or crease in areas that are drier or have more fine lines around your face. So that's that. Next, I have another product. This is their Double Take Sculpt and Strobe Duo Stick in the combo Honey Honey. And this I was on the fence about ordering because I feel like I have the cream products that I know I love. My Huda Beauty Tantour tried and true cream bronzer that I know I love. And I think I said this in a video at the kind of around the beginning of the year where I had really gotten rid of the cream products that weren't as good as that because I really wanted to focus on using up the stuff that I had and knew I loved, and that really kind of set a high bar for cream products for me. So I was really on the edge with getting this, but I'm glad I did because I am shocked with how creamy it is. Both sides, the contour and the highlight. I was a little nervous that the contour would be similar to the foundation, too deep for me, because in the stick it is deep relative to my skin tone. But this formula is just so creamy, so smooth, so easily blended into whatever you are wearing over top that you could certainly layer it up, or you could just blend it into this really soft contour slash bronzer. This is a very warm product, so I would say on me, it's definitely a bronzer. It's not a cool sort of contour that I use to etch out the shapes of my cheekbones. It is an overall bronzer to the perimeter of the face because it is so warm on my skin tone. And then on the other end, you have the highlighter, and this is a complementary warm-toned gold highlighter, which is super beautiful, not as in your face shiny as I kind of thought it would be oftentimes with cream products, or maybe I'm just used to cream products that because it's that combo of shimmer and dew, they are like blind you kind of highlighter. And this, I think it could be layered to be, you know, a lot more, and you could certainly layer powder over top of that, but on its own, it's not overwhelming. This might be a really good option for someone who is looking for a great combo of shimmer and balm, but doesn't want to risk overdoing it, like you might with something like the Pat McGrath highlighter and balm duo, or a Danessa Myricks. She has lots of balms, but they are like very dewy, shimmery, balmy, glowy. This could become that, but it's much easier to scale way back and sort of build as you go, I think. The other thing that really impressed me with this product, and I always kind of hold my breath on this when it comes to cream products, is how well they're going to blend in with products that you have over top, because sometimes cream products can be too thick, too waxy, they disturb whatever product you have going on underneath, and so the product itself might be beautiful, but if you're wearing it over a foundation that becomes patchy once you blend it out, it's a no-go, right? And this is just like so smooth and buttery. It's a little like blending butter on your face. It's so smooth and easy to blend. So was really impressed with this overall too. Another cream face product that takes the number 3 spot here. This isn't in order of like best to worst or anything. Really, if anything, it's in like order of application operation, but I didn't want that to be confusing. These are number 3, but not in a best to worst kind of way, just consecutively to clear that up. They are the Fenty Beauty Cheeks Out Cream Blushes. I have 3 shades, and the shade that I am wearing today is this Daiquiri Dip, which is a gorgeous fiery coral shade that when it's sheared out, kind of like I'm wearing on my cheeks right now, it's like, I mean, it's like a soft coral. It's kind of a pink. It goes with the pink eye look like I'm wearing today, but it also has that hint of orange in there if you want to pair it with something more orangey. Then I also got the purple shade, which is Drama Class. And this one I got because I don't have a blush that's similar, and I wanted to see if and how I could use a purple blush, and it turns out I really, really like it. So kind of like with the shade Daiquiri Dip, you can layer this so it looks distinctively purple on your cheeks. The undertone here is very pink, so when you sheer it out, it really looks more like an intense baby pink verging on a purple. Like on my skin tone, when I just wear it kind of barely there, it still looks very pink, maybe more like a bubblegummy pink. Bubblegum might be a more appropriate shade because it's very intense, but it doesn't look quite like the purple that you see here unless I really layer it up, which I sometimes do around the highest parts of my cheekbones rather than on the apples. I intensify it closer up here so it sort of blends more in with my eye look, but this is a really, really fun shade to play with and a lot easier to do so than I thought it might be, given that I didn't have a shade like this in my collection. And then the last shade I got that has kind of been getting less attention just because I've been obsessed with the other 2 shades has been Rosé Latte. And this I picked up because I thought it would be a great blush bronzer combo, one of those all-in-one where I could really intensify and layer it up towards the backs of my cheekbones and the contours of my cheek area towards my hairline, and then fade it out onto the apples of my cheeks. Because similar to the other 2 shades that I just talked about, when you sheer these out, I find that the undertone is really what comes through. So this is more of a deepened rose tone when it's sheared out. I mean, kind of true to the name. It is a rich brown in the pan, but sheared out, I feel like you can really see those rosy tones, at least on my skin tone. And then of course, built up, it is more of a rich brown shade. So that is the hope. Like I said, I really haven't played with this as much as I had with the other ones, but needless to say, I've really been liking this formula. Next up is a little something I picked up from Juvia's Place. This is their blush palette. It's the Saharan Blush Volume 2, and I didn't have any of their blush palettes, just eyeshadow palettes from them. Don't know what stopped me from trying them before, but once I saw this color palette, I knew I had to give it a try. What I love about it is it's great not just for your face, but for your eyes too, which can be said for, I mean, so many blush palettes out there, but this really does include a lot, like a wide variance of shades, anywhere from this terracotta orange, you get a warm tone medium brown here, a plum, shimmery shades, pinks, like it's a really good mix of undertones, I feel like, in here. And so this, I am actually wearing this on my eyes today because I already had my face, my blush, bronzer, all that kind of figured out already. I figured I would try and show this in a different way, which is on my eyes. So I am wearing the shade Yara in my crease, B in my outer corner, and kind of blend it in towards about the inner third. Then I took Sola, which is this a beautiful shimmery, plummy pink blush shade that I patted all over my lid and then used Zoba on my inner corner. And that is really a beautiful, like shifty sort of highlight shade where it has a pink shift that really goes in a pinky plum. Like I'd say it's a purpley pink shift that goes into this beautiful gold. And all together, this is just such a beautiful color palette. Wears beautifully on the face as well, naturally. So you know me, I love a good multitasker. And the other thing that I like about this is the mixture of textures, which, I mean, I kind of already pointed out in talking about the shades that I've used, but just so you know, there are 4 matte shades and 2 shimmer shades in here. So you can really mix and match any way you'd like, whether you're making a custom matte shade, you want to add something over here as a shimmery blush topper, or wear these alone as blushes for your look. I just think this palette will take you a really long way having it in your collection. And last up, review number 5 is another product. This is their Boss Gloss in the shade Rose. Now this on the website is described as a neon pink. I kind of, just in looking at all the pictures on the website, thought these were going to be very bold, kind of deeply pigmented lacquer glosses, and they aren't, which I'm not disappointed by, I'm just surprised by, because I'm wearing this on my lips now, 2 layers of it actually, and it is relatively bright and pigmented, but it's not opaque, and it's not, I don't know that I would call it neon. I would call it a bold rose. The texture is really nice. It's kind of a thicker consistency that sticks to your lips, but doesn't make your lips stick and like glop to each other. You're not gonna have like those strings happening if you layer a little bit too much of this up. Like it really is one of those gloss formulas that when it'll stick to where you apply it. I'm not trying to say it's transfer proof, but I do think it will stay inside the lines if you don't want to wear this with a liner, which when it comes to a product like this, I tend not to, because it's so easy to apply. This is the kind of product that I will toss in my purse or travel bag because it's a color that I think I know will flatter a lot of the looks I tend to wear, and it's just so easy and no maintenance to apply and maintain throughout the day. I also think the fact that it's a heavier gloss makes it a little bit more comfortable to wear long term. I find it lasts, like 2 to 3 hours before, either I eat or drink something, or I just have to retouch it because it's kind of lost its lacquer, its high shine lacquer. But once that time has come, my lips still feel very like hydrated and comfortable, kind of like it's forming a protective barrier over them. So nothing but good things to say about the formula. The one thing I would point out is just what I mentioned at the very beginning, which is that given the pictures and shade descriptions, I just expected them to be like more vibrant and bolder, and they're really more like an intense stain of color suspended within like a gloss formula. So I hope that helps. I hope all of the reviews for these products help. Let me know if you tried them, what you think of them in the comments, and what products you've been trying lately. Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, guys!